Hey, what is going on, Twintendo Nation? Hope you're having an awesome day. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a rumour that's been going around the Pokemon community the last few days. And I say rumour because a lot of YouTubers are saying this is a leak, and that is not the right terminology because we don't know if that is an actual part of Pokemon Sword or Shield or not. It's not been confirmed, so at this point of time, it is a rumour. But anyway, this rumour is Armoured Evolution, which is essentially the gimmick for Pokemon Sword and Shield, like Mega Evolution for Pokemon X and Y, and Z moves for Pokemon Sun and Moon. But anyway, you're probably wondering where this rumour started from, and it actually appeared first on a post on 4chan, and the title of it was "Screen Cap This, It's Legit," and this was posted on the 20th of February 2019, and this was a week before Pokemon Sword and Shield were revealed to the world. And in this post it said, "This is it, believe it now or later. The games are going to be called Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield," which is correct. The region is Great Britain, which again is correct by the looks of it, and if you've seen my last video, well, you basically know that it is based on Great Britain. The legendary Pokemon, this is interesting, we don't know this yet, so if this gets like shown in the next trailer or in Korokoro Next, and they are correct, then this rumour will actually gain even more believability. So the legendary Pokemon are apparently a metal snake and a wooden horse. Take that as you will, I have no idea what those could look like. It doesn't sound great, but knowing Game Freak, they've never really let us down too much with the box art legendaries. And then here is the thing we are talking about today, Armoured Evolutions, which is basically the new gimmick for Pokemon Sword and Shield, like Mega Evolutions were in the Kalos region for Pokemon X and Y, and Z moves that we had in Pokemon Sun and Moon. So these armoured Pokemon will include Armoured Charizard, which I put in the thumbnail, and this model comes from a mod from Project M for Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Armoured Mewtwo, which we know there is Armoured Mewtwo in the film of the first Pokemon film, and funnily enough, what's getting a remake this year? The first Pokemon film, so that could tie in quite nicely. And then there's Armoured Flygon, which personally I'm so loving that idea, because obviously Flygon was supposed to get a Mega Evolution in Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Flygon's one of my favourite Pokemon, and sadly that just never happened. So we've seen Flygon actually in the Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer in the desert area fighting a Bravery, so since we know Flygon is going to be in the Pokemon Sword and Shield Pokedex, this kind of has a bit of believability to it as well. There's also going to be Armoured Zeraora, which is very cool. Obviously Zeraora was revealed in the last main series Pokemon games, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Pokemon Ultra Moon, so that's a possibility. And interestingly enough, Meltan, which is quite mysterious at the moment, ties into Armoured Evolution and Legendary lore as well, and we're going to be talking about that later in the video. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the Galar region where Pokemon Sword and Shield is located seems to be loosely based off the UK or Great Britain, and Great Britain was famous for the Industrial Revolution. So in the Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer, we saw a very industrial city that seemed to have quite a few factories, it had steam-powered machines we saw, and this could be the first place we see Armoured Evolution. So if you remember Pokemon X and Y, which was the first game to introduce Mega Evolutions, we were shown Mega Evolutions quite early on at the Tower of Mastery. For those who don't remember, this was located in Shallow City, and it's basically a place where we learn all about the history of Mega Evolution, and at the end of it we get a Mega Ring that lets us Mega Evolve our Pokemon. And this city, this kind of steampunk vibe city, could be the first place we see Armoured Evolution, and it could be the first place that we actually get, you know, like a backstory to it, and the item that lets us evolve it if obviously this thing is true. And this city is actually very close to the starting city. It seems that we'll leave our village, we'll go to the next town over, and then you'll have to catch a train, and that will take us all the way to this steampunk-like city, which, you know, that might mean we get Armoured Evolution very quickly, or we'll have to come back here later in the game to pick up the item that lets us evolve our Pokemon into Armoured Evolution, if that is the case. And I kind of like this idea because this city is definitely full of factories, full of industrial work, and the fact that armour, which, you know, has to be forged and welded and stuff, you know, in a factory environment, makes a lot of sense that it would appear in this city. Now, another theory behind this rumour of Armoured Evolution is that there won't be one item that lets us evolve a Pokemon like Mega Evolution with the Mega Ring. In fact, we'll have to find items that let us build armour, or basically forge armour, at these factories. So it won't be basically like a one-time item, it will be materials we'll have to find to make armour for certain Pokemon. That kind of makes sense, and obviously armour kind of fits the theme of the titles Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. You know, these things have to be crafted just like armor. So swords and shields have to be crafted, basically, is what I'm saying. So potentially this armored evolution could work in either buffing your Pokemon's attack or buffing your Pokemon's defense. You know, going by the names Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. Pokemon Sword to me kind of resembles attack, and Pokemon Shield, you know, when you hear that you think more of a defensive approach. So maybe there will be offensive and defensive options for armored evolution. Now, some of you might have seen an image floating around the internet recently of Scorbunny's potential final evolution. For those who don't want to see it, in case it is real, you're free to skip the video, but basically this is what it looks like, and it's kind of weird. It's like an astronaut styled evolution, which is definitely not what I was expecting if this is the case, but some people have been suggesting this could actually be not just Scorbunny's final evolution, but actually an armoured form of Scorbunny's final evolution, which, you know, again, it hasn't been deconfirmed at the moment. It can't be debunked until we actually see Scorbunny's final evolution, but that is definitely a possibility. So I mentioned earlier in the 4chan post that Meltan and Melmetal will play a role basically in armoured evolutions, and I guess a reason behind this could be the fact that their bodies are made from melted steel, basically, which is why they're steel type. And at the moment, they're very mysterious Pokemon. They're Gen 7 Pokemon, but it wouldn't surprise me if they play a role in Generation 8, similar to how Zygarde from, obviously, Pokemon X and Y in Generation 6 came over to Pokemon Sun and Moon and played a little bit of a role in Generation 7. There's also a theory going around that the hill figure that was seen in the Pokemon Sword and Shield trailer represents Melmetal and Meltan. I'm not sure if that is the case. I personally am not sure if I buy that. But again, I still think Meltan and Melmetal will definitely play a role in Pokemon Sword and Shield. So as I mentioned earlier, Charizard would be one of the Pokemon that is capable of armoured evolution. And interestingly, if we look at a screenshot of the Pokemon Lab, or what we assume to be the Pokemon Lab, but I think at this case it's pretty much certain, we can see on the far right there is basically like a drawing board or a sketching board, or just kind of blueprints in general that have Charizard's head in. I'm not sure if they're kind of measuring its diameters and proportions in case, you know, potentially they were going to add armor to it. Again, that is just a theory. That is definitely not any concrete evidence at all, but it's just something I thought I'd point out. And obviously, we've seen armored Pokemon quite a few times, at least twice from my knowledge in Pokemon movies. We've seen armored Mewtwo from the first Pokemon movie, and in the 8th Pokemon movie, my favorite, Lucario and Mystery of Mew, we saw the Pokemon War, you know, with soldiers having swords and shield, but also Pokemon that had armor plating on them, and Charizard was definitely one of the Pokemon seen in that battle between the two armies. So again, it's not too far-fetched that armored evolution is a thing. Personally, I'm going to be very on the fence until either the legendaries get revealed and it matches the 4chan post, but I mean, it definitely has some credibility. He posted a week before the games were announced, and a lot of it does match up. UK region, Pokemon Sword and Shield, the titles are the same, so I don't know. Guys, let me know in the comments whether you think Armored Evolution is real, and if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button down below, and subscribe to stay up to date with everything Pokemon Sword and Shield. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, hope you have an awesome day, and I will see you on the next video. Peace!